Hey everyone, welcome back to another explainer. I am so incredibly thrilled to have you here today because we are going to unpack something truly, literally mind-bending. If you're someone who loves clear, structured breakdowns of massive, ancient philosophical concepts, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're taking a highly visual journey into ancient cosmic frameworks. We're going to look at the three fundamental spaces of reality: the physical, the mental, and pure consciousness, and exactly how they map onto the 14 ancient universes, or lokas. We're going to take this vast, abstract map and make it completely clear and accessible for you. So, here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll explore Arjuna's cosmic vision, then we'll break down the three universal spaces. From there, we'll outline the 14 lokas, and finally, we'll map those spaces directly onto the lokas. Let's just jump right in. Section 1. Arjuna's cosmic vision. Okay, to really wrap our heads around these concepts, we kind of need to ground them in a very specific, absolutely awe-inspiring story from our source material. This whole exploration stems from a single incredible moment. Chapter 11, Sloka 13 of the Bhagavad Gita states, Arjuna, king of Pandu, could see the complete universe variously divided and situated in one place within the universal form of Lord Krishna. Just let that sink in for a second, right? The complete, divided universe, multiple different realities and realms, all situated in one single place within the universal form. It is the ultimate zoomed-out perspective of the cosmos. But, here is the catch. The source explicitly points out that Arjuna couldn't just see this multi-layered reality with his normal, everyday human vision. No way. Witnessing this kind of scale requires special divine eyes. It requires a fundamental shift in perception. Because the universes he was seeing aren't just physical places you could travel to in a spaceship. They exist entirely across different dimensions of reality, which perfectly brings us to our next crucial concept. Section 2. The three universal spaces. So according to frameworks like the Yoga Vasista, reality isn't just one big physical bucket. It's actually categorized into three distinct spaces, or akashas, representing an ascent of reality. Let's dive right into our lowest layer, Bhutakash. This is the physical space. Basically, the normal, tangible realm. Look around you right now. Everything you see is in Bhutakash. It's where the stars, the moon, people, birds, and animals all live. And what's really fascinating about our source material is how it describes the mechanics of this space. It notes that in Bhutakash, the main actors, or simulators that drive everything forward, are time and karma. They're basically the engine of the physical world. Now we move one step up the ladder to Chittakash, which is also known as Manuakash. This is the mind space. We are officially no longer in the physical world of atoms and gravity. This is a highly subtle realm. When you experience deep feelings, when your imagination just runs wild, when you fall asleep and dream, or even when you enter deep meditation, you're actually operating in Chittakash. The source even explicitly mentions that when people experience divine visions, those things are occurring right here in this specific mental space. And finally, we reach the absolute peak of this ascent, Chittakash, the consciousness space. This is the ultimate realm. Notice how the definition here strips away quite literally everything we just talked about. Chittakash is completely beyond time. It's beyond your ego. It's completely beyond your thoughts. It is entirely outside of both the physical and the mental spaces. It's just pure, unfiltered consciousness. Now, what's really interesting about this is how strictly our daily experiences are separated here. On the left side, we've got Bhutakash, the heavy, tangible stuff, the physical actors. But on the right side, we have Chittakash, the subtle, internal stuff. As you go about your day, you are constantly interacting with both, sure, but they are governed by entirely different rules. The physical world is bound by physical laws, while the mental space is bound only by the limits of your own imagination and subtle feelings. So, we have these three fundamental spaces: physical, mental, and pure consciousness. But remember Arjuna's vision? He saw a complete, divided universe. So the big question we really have to ask next is, how did these three massive spaces actually fit into the highly specific, ancient structure of the multiple universes? Section 3. The 14 lokas. 14. To answer exactly how these spaces fit together, we need to introduce the next piece of our cosmic puzzle, the specific realms of existence. The source is very, very specific about the math here. There are exactly 14 lokas.
When Arjuna looked into the universal form and saw the cosmos divided, he was actually looking across these 14 distinct realms.
Here's the full rundown of those 14 lokas. Now don't worry, you don't need to memorize these specific names for this exercise. We go from Satyaloka at the very top, descending through Tapaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Bhuloka, and then all the way through the subterranean realms to the lowest, Patala. But the crucial takeaway here is just recognizing this vast, structured hierarchy descending across existence. It is a highly precise classification mapping out the entirety of the cosmos. Section 4, Mapping Spaces to Lokas. All right, let's bring it all home. We've got our 3 spaces of reality and our 14 lokas. Let's map them together. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the ancient framework organizes existence. As you can see, the vast majority of the 14 universes, from the 5th loka all the way down to the 14th, which includes our Bhuloka and the lowest Patala, all of that falls right into Bhutakash. It is entirely physical space. Then, as you ascend higher to the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th lokas, Tapaloka, Janaloka, and Maharloka, you actually leave the physical completely behind. These universes exist entirely within Chittakash, the space of the mind. And finally, the absolute highest loka, the first one, Satyaloka. It just sits alone at the peak. This is Chittakash, the space where pure consciousness travels, completely free from physical forms and mental constructs. Honestly, it's just an incredibly elegant way to structure infinity. Which brings us to our final thought for today. We started with Arjuna, who literally needed divine eyes just to witness this incredible 14-loka architecture. Most of us are pretty firmly rooted in the physical space, driven by time and karma, right? But if these higher realms of mind and pure consciousness exist right now, intricately layered over our reality, what is really limiting our own perception today? It is a fascinating question to leave you with. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.